faded. Na 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 na. I want to spend them on enjoyment. Hello, guys, and welcome to yet another episode of the Let's Face It podcast. I am your host, Rachel Anita, and you can call me Anita anytime, anywhere, baby. Kama kawaida, I am here. Although today I want us to talk about something slightly different. It's something I've been wanting to talk about, to get it off my... Okay, clearly. I opened this podcast because there's a lot of things I want to talk about and to get off my chest. So thank you guys for joining me, for patronizing me with your audience. I really do not take it for granted. And kama kawaida, we are on all platforms. You can get it on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, anywhere and everywhere. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, turn on the notifications. I love you guys so much, and I'm at like 40 subscribers, and I'm so happy that 40 of you could take your time to just listen and engage me. I truly do not take that for granted. So today I want us to talk about grief. Let's face it, grief is a sucker. And after losing some of the most precious people in my life, there's some quotes I think that really helped me cope, because I don't think someone can fully get over losing someone. One was it said, grief is all the love we have, but with nowhere to take it, or no one to share it with. So I instead of looking at grief as a bad emotion, I want us today to look at grief as an emotion that is necessary for us to get through and to move through, so that we can get through life. As clearly this is a difficult episode for me, but let's face it, we are facing our fears and everything in between. So grief has a fantastic way of humbling a person. You can think you're all high and mighty and think that nothing can put you down. Let me tell you mine. Like when you get a phone call, or I remember the day I lost my grandma. I got a phone call at like 6. It was quite heartbreaking, and nothing could really prepare me for what was to come. But again, I think the closer we are to death, the more real life becomes, the more we value our friendships, our relationships, and everything in between. It's all nice and easy until you lose someone and the reality sets in. You can't say, this is not one of those things you can say, can never be me. It will be you. Can never be me where it will be you. So when loss happens, the reality check just kicks in. Like, everyone needs friends to be there for them. You need your family to cooperate. You need, like, grief brings a lot to the table, a lot, especially when you're like the center of that thing and you have to figure out everything and nothing at the same time. It's really hard. Well, especially when you're trying to progress, that someone was here today and gone tomorrow. It's hard. I really can't explain loss to you if you've not gone through it. And I hope you don't, because I do not pray, but some of these things are inevitable. One, we're growing older, the people we know, the people we love, the circles are getting smaller, our parents are growing older, there are diseases that come out of nowhere, like COVID, which took so many lives, so many people. But I'm sorry guys, this episode is just a bit difficult for me. I can't explain the emptiness and the wrenching pain. I can't explain that. I can't explain waking up and something as simple as an avocado tree reminds you of someone and you're there in tears. Because I remember the months after my grandma died, I was in tears I think even for over a year. I would just go to my kitchen, and I remember this was our favorite plate, where Waterworks. I would go somewhere and think she liked white and red, and every time I see those I'm like, so you can't explain that. I can't explain that emptiness to you, that confusion, and doubting life, asking yourself what is true, what is not. So, and the funny thing about death is it's inevitable, right? Like I said, but every time it happens, you're like, wow, See, I was with that person last week. Like, I know we talked last month, we talked like this. But sadly, that's not the way life works. Things happen and they shake us to our core. And they say experience is the best teacher, but this is like the worst possible scenario for experience to be your best teacher. You know those people who, I don't use examples in this one, but for grief, going through it, just, I think you get baptized. You become a totally new and different person. I always tell my friends, my life changed on the 13th of April 21. And I talk about my grandma a lot because she's the person who raised me. Whew. And when she died, I couldn't believe it. I think I was in shock. For a couple of months, I was in shock. I don't even remember crying, really, because I barely had that time. My family is so dramatic. I had so much to settle. I was almost fighting with the chief and stuff. It's so dramatic because it was like rooted during the COVID-19 time. So they're like, no funerals, no blah blah, no blah. I'm like, it was a lot, okay? So I remember one day I was taking my grandpa to the hospital. He goes for dialysis every 3 times a week. And when we were there, this lady comes in with 2 of her friends. There's a cafeteria right outside the hospital. They ate so we could see them. Then they came and this lady just passed out and died. Guys, you see the way in movies you see nurses running, oh quad, red or blue, I don't know, I've not watched Grey's Anatomy, quad whatever, come the nurse, the poo, what's that, resuscitation or something, they're trying. Oh my god, it was the first time in my life I think I literally saw someone die, like literally in front of my eyes. And the thing about this was that it was in the best possible place to die because it's the hospital, and you could see how these nurses were very frantic about it, running up and down, injections, there were this and that. They really tried, but that lady died in like 5 minutes. I think that was when I realized I had to accept the death. There was nothing anyone could do or could have done. There's nothing under the sun I could have done. Even though I beat myself up telling myself we could have afforded a better hospital. And that is something that comes with grief. You always tell yourself, I could have done something, you know. I could have told this person not to go. I could have told them, like, let's say the example of a car accident, you could have hidden the keys, but you never know. And that's the beauty and the sadness and the bitterness of life, is that we never know when this thing happens. And for me, it was at that moment, I remember I cried. Oh my god, I cried for that woman. I think I was crying for my grandma and that woman at the same time, because all of a sudden the friends are confused. They're like, she has a kid at home. I'm like, who's going to take care of that poor baby? Who's going to be there for this family? And they were just okay in the morning. They probably had breakfast together now, you know. So death reminds you not to take anyone or anything for granted. Trust me, guys. Like, I think after that happened to me, and sadly for me it was during COVID, my friends couldn't be there, but they really tried. But for me right now, let me tell you, even if your cat dies, guys, and you tell me, I'll be there, because I know the value of presence during such a time, the value of just being, you don't have, and this thing of, I don't know what to say, anga what, no one knows what to say, because no one knows that emotion. And grief is different, it's not the same. Even if you lost your grandma in the same particular circumstance, it's not the same thing I felt, that's the same thing that you felt, you know. So I do not take anything for granted. Birthday, call me, I will show up, unless I'm sick or something. Weddings, anything, I'm telling you, I'm there for my friends, because I know tomorrow is not promised. And if I can make it up for you today, if I can show up for you today and you feel my love, that is enough for me in this lifetime. That is enough for me to know I made and you are not alone. Because guys, I can't tell you the days I felt alone and the days I was trying to feel alone, but my friends are like, Anita, no. Getting through those stages of grief is dramatic, denial and what, but at the end of the day, no one and nothing I can say can help you get through it. Nothing I can say. But in the end, we have to accept love and accept our friends. Like, I had a friend who would send me the pictures of my goddaughter every day, and they would make my day, even if it's for those 5 minutes. I would forget my misery and I would be so happy. So guys, when someone loses someone, just be there. Even if you have nothing to say, even if you have nothing, don't even bring anything. Sazingine, all we need is a shoulder to lean on. All you need is someone to tell you, I am here. I know it's not okay, because don't tell us that it's okay. Bullshit. It's not okay. Our hearts are tearing. We are crying. We are having a hard time. Guys. And anyway, I can't really tell you how to cope with grief. Myself, clearly, I'm still grieving, and it's okay, and I'm fine with that, and I'm okay with whatever tomorrow brings. But the one thing I will tell you is that be that friend, be that person, and when the days are dark as hell, remember God is there. As much as, even for me, when I lost my grandma, at some point I lost my faith and I could not pray, but the people prayed for me and who stood by me. And I believe it's because of those people that I'm even able to talk about it and to face that emotion right now. So yes, it does not help to shut out the world. Sometimes, yes, I know we all have to go through that. Shut it out, figure it out on your own. But allow people to love you. Allow people to be there for you. And you, if you're my friend, please just force issues. Just force them. At some point, you just have to force them. Because someone can't, like when someone is grieving and then you're like, let me know when you... Like, I can't let you know when I need you, because I clearly need you and I cannot come crying and all that, you know. So, with grief, it's hard, it's painful, but it's necessary. And no one will ever tell you that stabbing pain in your heart, that pain, like, and it feels like you're choking and like you can't breathe, and for a moment you even forget you're not even sane. But I always say, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I'm not saying we forget the people who we loved and who we love, but like I said, grief is all the love we have with nowhere to go. It's like murky waters, and whether we like it or not, we have to learn how to swim and stay afloat. So if you've lost someone you love, you can come to my DM. We can cry together. We can hug each other out. But never forget that every day is a day to choose what emotion to feel. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to not be okay. But don't stay there for too long. And however long it takes you to grieve, it's okay. Again, it's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's okay. We can never really define what that person was to you and how it feels. And sometimes grief is not even all just about people. People grieve their pets, they grieve their businesses. I remember when I had to close down my neighbor, I cried a good one. I was like, so all this money is just gone. But again, if it doesn't make you money, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me in this podcast, and tell me about your experience. How did you cope with grief? How did you get through it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Bye.